Hi, my name is Mehran Jadidi. I'm one of the assistant city attorneys for the city of Galveston. I've been working here for about 3 years. What the city attorney's office does is we are basically general counsel for the government of the city of Galveston. So we are responsive to not just city council, but also city management and any other department that works for the city. I get to practice several different areas of law. I do criminal law, I've done some constitutional law, I do a lot of contract law. We're doing land use litigation. You know, there's no way I could have gotten this amount of experience in private practice in such a short time. I was born and raised in Galveston, and so before I applied for the position of law clerk, I had no idea that there was a general counsel for the government of the city of Galveston. So for one, I just feel very blessed to be able to come back to my hometown and serve in my chosen profession for my hometown. It's awesome. But I guess the best example of doing that is that Jamail Park, 61st Street Park that opened up. I got to oversee the contract that got the work moving on that. So it was awesome to one day ride by and see it finished and see that I had something to do with that. So it's nice to be able to give back something and to have a hand in making my city better. Don is my boss. Don's a city attorney, and then we have two other assistant city attorneys, Donna and Trevor. We've all worked together for about 3 years now, and I know it sounds cliche and cheesy, but it feels like family. Don is a wonderful boss. In addition to being a brilliant lawyer, he actually cares about whether we learn or not. He cares about us growing as lawyers and as people. Yeah, he's just a great guy. I hero worship Don. I'm sure you can tell, but I cannot imagine a better boss to work for, especially for my first job. Donna, I feel she feels like a sister to me. You know, I feel like we would do anything for each other at this point, and I feel the same way about Trevor. So when I first got hired here, I think one of the reasons I was hired was because of my long experience interning for Lone Star Legal Aid. They do work for people that can't afford a lawyer, and I think Don saw the service-oriented aspect of what I did there, and I think that's why Don took a chance on me rather than somebody else that maybe was more known. I think Don saw in me my streak for public service. And I've seen Brian take that same tack in hiring people. Brian is great at hiring. Brian has hired people that actually know what they're doing instead of people that he knows from afar. And I know Brian's not in my office, but the best example I have for Brian hiring is Mike Lofton. Mike Lofton is a former city manager of League City. It's usually considered politically dangerous to hire someone that could take your job, but Brian didn't care about that. Brian cared about what Mike could bring to the city. I love the direction our island's taking. When I was growing up here, it seemed like there was never anything being done as far as construction, as far as capital improvements, as far as actually making the island better. And being here now and seeing all the progress that the city's making, not just in terms of street repairs, but in terms of forward-thinking attitude of our management, I think it's a great time. I cannot imagine a better time to have come here and started here. I'm very excited to be a part of this. This tiny tradition. I was shopping with some friends, and I noticed that these really cool, crazy socks, and I was actually there to pick out a new tie because I needed a new tie, and all the ties were boring. And I knew I couldn't wear anything garish because it's a serious job. But socks, no one really notices unless you point it out to them. So I decided to start wearing happy socks. I think there's something about this island that makes most people want to come back. I mean, everyone develops this island mentality. It's home for most people. I know there's some people, and God bless them, that they've had their fill of Galveston, and that's fine. I mean, everyone has that, or some people have that. But for me, this was always going to be home. I never had any desire to move away. It was always my intention to come back.